Tom Brady's return to New England will define week 4 of the NFL season. But it's not the only fantastic game on the schedule. A battle of NFC West unbeaten should be the most entertaining game of the day. The Los Angeles Rams and Arizona Cardinals face off in a battle of top 5 offenses. In the same afternoon window, the 49ers will try to drop the Seahawks to a 1-3 start. In the NFC West, that can't happen. Same goes for the AFC North, and Pittsburgh travels to Green Bay for a blue blood matchup between future Hall of Fame quarterbacks Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. The Kansas City Chiefs also will look to avoid a 1-3 start at Philadelphia. We get all that before Brady walks out of the tunnel from the visitor side at Gillette Stadium. Hello, friends, and welcome to another special Thursday night edition of NFL Saturday, Week 4. I am your host, Anthony Florio, alongside good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. We already know what the game of the week is. We're going to go into great detail on that. You best believe it. But for right now, let's before we get to that, though, we have a lot of other things to get into. We got a Thursday night football game going on right now. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cincinnati Bengals tied at 14, but Jacksonville may have just retaken the lead. There is a scoring play that's under review, and we'll pass that result along to you as soon as it is available. And a more entertaining Thursday night game than I initially thought. I thought this was going to be a meh game, but this game has ended up being actually halfway decent, surprisingly. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. So without any further ado, guys, just getting some last second things up here, and we will be just about ready to go. So all right, I think we're about ready to go here. So okay, we got everything we need. All right, let's go. So we're going to start off with our first game of the week, and that will be the Washington football team squaring off against the Atlanta Falcons from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. This game will be over on Fox. Kevin Kugler, Mark Sanchez, Laura Oakman, they will be on the call. And Washington opening up as a 1-point favorite. By the way, that touchdown has been confirmed. Jacksonville has just taken the lead. It's 21-14 Jacksonville, early fourth quarter. Keep an eye on it for you. We'll break any news that we need to break if it should come in. So as I was saying, Washington opening up as a 1-point favorite against the Atlanta Falcons. And the series history favors the Washington football team 14-10 with a tie. And their last meeting was 2018 in Washington. Atlanta won 38-14. Matter of fact, the Falcons have won each of the last 6 meetings in a row against Washington, including the last meeting in Atlanta, 2015, 25-19 overtime winner for Atlanta. Washington has not won in Atlanta since the Falcons were in the old Georgia Dome back in 2003. That was a 33-31 final. That's also the last time they beat the Falcons, by the way. So, so with that, let's get into this first matchup of the week. Trying to find it here. All right. Washington has allowed 30.7 points per game through 3 weeks, and that is dangerous against Atlanta, which edged the New York Giants out in a defensive struggle. Chase Young gets on track with a multi-sack game, and that forces a few mistakes from Matt Ryan. I got the Washington football team winning this game 21-18. Washington beats Atlanta. Not much more to say. Good old MF, Michael Fletcher, come on in. Washington and Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington as well. I just feel like Tyler Heineke has been pretty well. Of course, they still got Gibson as a danger player, and you know there's some talent there for Washington. I know a lot of people have been very high on Matt Ryan. Kyle Pitts, who's been the rookie tight end, hasn't really panned it out the way that they were hoping for. Ridley's okay, but they need a lot of help. Defensively, they are liability beyond belief. So this is one of those games where I'm kind of going with my heart and my gut on this one. I just think Washington's the better team. So I got the Washington football team winning the game. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock is yours.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, Taylor Heineke I mean, basically has been good for them, and the Falcons. Well, what can you say? I mean, it's just hasn't been good for them as of late. So yeah, I actually got the Washington football team winning this one as well. So there's really nothing more to add to it. So let's move on to the next game, Florio.
And it's a 1:00 game, and it's going to be over on CBS. The Houston Texans squaring off against the Buffalo Bills, Highmark Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. Beth Mowins and Tiki Barber will have the call. Buffalo is the biggest favorite of the week. Hell, they're the biggest favorite so far this season. Buffalo is opening up as a 17-point favorite against Houston. Even though Houston leads the all-time series by 4, they last met in a memorable wild card playoff game, January of 2020. That was in Houston. Houston won 22-19 in overtime. Houston won the last regular season meeting. That was in Houston, 2018, 20-13. Last meeting in Buffalo, 2015. Buffalo won 30-21. Houston last won in Buffalo back in 2009. That was a 31-10 final. So there isn't much more for me to say. MF, the Buffalo Bills, they had that putrid second half against Pittsburgh, but and then that so-so game against Miami. But last week against Washington, they looked like that team that could easily represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they finally woke up. They finally showed up. They finally realized what they were doing and everything else. And some people are a little are still trying to say, can we truly buy Buffalo here? Are they truly back now? Are they truly a legit, contender? Look, the way they've been playing lately, they're a lot better than they were a few weeks ago. I can tell you that much. I think they finally figured it out, especially after the game against Washington. I think they finally figured it out. Now the question becomes, what do they do from here on in? Are we going to see something better? We'll wait and find out. But no, they're playing solid football now. Now they're going up against Houston. Houston, not really a great team. So, and the thing is, if they had Deshaun Watson, maybe the game's a little more different. Maybe it gets a little more interesting. But at the end of the day, I'm with you guys. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, and I don't think it's going to be even close. I think they're going to win this by at least 3, maybe 4 touchdowns. So I got really nothing more to add. Mike Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, basically like you said. I mean, I think Buffalo is now starting to look like that team that was just one win away from the Super Bowl last season. So, and if that's the team that's back, that's bad news for the AFC. I mean, even though it's still early in the season, but yeah, that's definitely bad news. And yeah, Houston, I think they're definitely going to feel the effects of it. And yeah, that team is an absolute mess, especially with the whole Deshaun Watson situation. And yeah, I mean, obviously the coaches, they're not going to go with Deshaun Watson right now because of his messy situation. They're just going to go with whoever they have at the quarterback, even if it is like a rookie or second year player. So yeah, this is going to be a blowout here. I got Buffalo winning as well. Florio, it is yours.
It's Davis Mills, guys. That's who's going to be starting for Houston in this one. The Bills are in scorched earth mode since the Week 1 loss to Pittsburgh, and they've outscored their last 2 opponents 78-21. Brandon Cooks has been a bright spot for the Texans, but they won't be able to keep up in this one. Can they cover that gigantic spread? No. Buffalo wins, lock of the week, 38-20. I got Buffalo over Houston. This is the lock of the week. There's no doubt about it. JA 17. He's going to have another big game. I feel it in my bones. So, no doubt about that. So, all right. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next game, which Michael Bullock will start off on. Let me just set it up quick. It is a divisional rivalry game out of the NFC Norris. It'll be the Detroit Lions squaring off against the Chicago Bears, Soldier Field in Chicago. And this game, of course, will be on Fox, as always. And on the call for that one, it will be... Oh, let me find it here. All right, it's going to be Gus Johnson, Aqib Talib, and Megan O'Leary. And Chicago opening up as a 3-point favorite. A lot of history between these two. Chicago, and gentlemen, we have a touchdown. The Cincinnati Bengals have just scored a touchdown. Joe Burrow with a touchdown pass to CJ Uzomah. And pending the they're an extra point away from tying this game up again at 21. Wow. And I had this as the Zonk game of the week. Wow. Unbelievable. But getting back to Detroit and Chicago, Chicago leads the all-time series very one-sided. 102-75 with 5 ties in favor of the Chicago Bears. And they split last year. Both teams won on the road, which meant Detroit won at Chicago, 34-30. Bears last beat the Lions at home in 2019. That was a 20-13 final. Extra point is good. We are tied at 21. Jacksonville and Cincinnati. Very, very surprising development there, no doubt about it. So with all that being said, Michael Bullock, Detroit, and Chicago. Soldier Field, Gus Johnson on the call, and Chicago opening up as a 3-point favorite. So could go either way, but who do you like here?
I don't know. I mean, basically after what I saw last week with Chicago, I mean, especially after that putrid performance from Justin Fields, and the thing is, we don't even know who the starting quarterback will be for this game. I mean, that's a tough one for me to call here. So, I mean, this is an unfortunate situation for them. So, to me, even though the Bears are a favorite here, I'm actually going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions to win this one. I'm going to say 2017 is going to be my final score here. So, nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
My gut tells me to go with Chicago, but the Lions are getting closer to that first victory for first-year coach Dan Campbell. And the Bears have injury issues at quarterback with Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. Detroit's Jared Goff finally gets his first victory with his new team. You know what, Bullock? I'm actually going to go with you on this one. I'm going to go with Detroit to win this one as well. 22-19, Detroit beats Chicago. MF, how about it?
I can't disagree with that. I got to go with Detroit as well. Like you said, they've been nipping at the heels. They've been so close. If it wasn't for Justin Tucker's 66-yard bomb of a kick, we'd be talking about Detroit getting their first win of the season. So I think it's going to happen. I think, like you said, we don't know about Justin Fields the way he's going. There's injuries at the quarterback position. It looks like maybe Fields gets the start, but I'll say this. If he gets the start, they better fix that offensive line, man, because that line's going to get this kid hurt. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm in full agreement with you guys. I'm going with the Detroit Lions to roar their way to the first win of the season. Detroit finally gets off the schneid and wins. So, Anthony, it's yours.
And we move on to one of the first of many big games of this week 4. Big game on the NFC side of the ledger on Fox. It will be the Carolina Panthers squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olsen, Pam Oliver, will have the call. Dallas opening up as a 4-point favorite. Dallas leads the all-time series 9-3, but Carolina has won each of the last 2 meetings against Dallas, including their last meeting in Dallas, which was in 2015. Carolina won 33-14. Cowboys last beat the Panthers at home in 2009. That was a 21-7 final. So not much more to say on that. And the Panthers have been brilliant early in the season with Sam Darnold, but Christian McCaffrey with a hamstring has an uncertain timetable for return. Carolina has won the last 2 meetings with Dallas, but this is not the right spot. One aspect to watch with the Cowboys, the workload balance between Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. My final score, 28-24. The Dallas Cowboys knock off the Carolina Panthers in what should be a great, great game. The first of many big games on this Week 4 schedule. So not much more to say. MF, Carolina, Dallas, one of the top games on the other side of the ledger.
Yeah, one of the top games on the other side of the ledger. Carolina 3-0, Dallas at 2-1, and you could even make an argument that Dallas could have been 3-0 if it wasn't for that loss at the end, where they almost knocked off Tampa Bay. So I mean, look, at the end of the day, Dallas is definitely the better team going in. Carolina is a little bit of a shell of themselves. Without Christian McCaffrey, the team does get hurt, and it is a little more of a different look, whatever you want to say. So I'm going to go with Dallas as well. I think Dallas will get the job done. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, you could definitely make the case for Dallas to be 3-0 as well, but 3-0 for Carolina. But the thing is, I mean, they suffered a loss, obviously, with Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be out for a while with that hamstring problem. So yeah, it's going to make it very tough for this Carolina team. So, and with the way the Dallas offense has been so far in the early stages of the season, yeah, I gotta go with the Dallas Cowboys as well. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. On to the next game, Florio.
And this is going to be a sentimental game for myself and for myself and MF, because we're about to renew an old school AFC East division rivalry. It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts squaring off against the Miami Dolphins, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. This will be over, of course, on the mothership of CBS. And on the call for that one, it'll be Spiro Ditas and Jay Feely. And Miami opening up as a 1.5-point favorite. Lot of history between these two, mainly because they used to be divisional rivals up until the realignment, of course. Miami leads the all-time series 46-27. Their last meeting was 2019 in Indianapolis. Miami won 16-12. Last meeting in Miami, 2015. Indy won that one, 18-12. And the last time the Dolphins beat Indianapolis at home, you got to go all the way back to 2001. 2001, Miami won 41-6 in a major holiday hamming there. So there isn't much more to say. MF, it's only fitting you start this one off because, you know, back in the day, we used to only do AFC East games, and oh boy, how many of these games, how many Colt Dolphin games did we used to do back in the day when we were doing AFC East only games, MF?
I mean, it actually started during the days when Dan Marino was the starting quarterback. Remember, we started doing this around 95, 90, about 94, 95, so Marino was around. Then we went into the years when Peyton Manning was the guy for Indy. And that was really the last time where we really did it. So we kind of had that breakaway at that point, and we kind of went on our own path and whatever you want to say. And at that point, Indy was always up and down. Miami was always up and down. So we never really had anything about it. But yeah, without a doubt, this year there was a lot of expectations for Miami, a lot of expectations for Indy. Um,
But
and and
Indy,
the and the thing is, yeah, Indy's been
0-3.
majorly disappointing. But
But your Dolphins, though. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but your Dolphins, though, I got to give you boys all the credit in the world. I mean, you boys easily could have gotten blown out of Allegiant Stadium, but boy, howdy, did you hang with those Raiders like you did last Christmas?
yeah, I mean, obviously you know that was going to happen. There was a couple of mistakes that were made, obviously, that you can't do, and I think this was a little more of a of I think that was the encouraging sign is that yeah, we didn't get blown out. We only lost by 3 at the end. It was a tough loss, but at the end of the day, it happens. So I think that's why a lot of people are picking Miami to beat Indy. I think people has lost faith in Indianapolis where with the Dolphin fans, they're thinking, you know what? It's not as bad as we thought. Okay, we're in a tough situation because Tua is out. He's got the fractured ribs, so he's going to be out for a little bit. But Jacoby Brissett picked up, had a good game, decent game, but you could already feel like there there has to be some kind of payoff here. You know, maybe Buffalo. You know, I think what happened was Buffalo exposed Miami's biggest problem: our offensive line. We knew our offensive line was bad. We didn't know they were that bad, and that was an indictment on Chris Greer. That was an indictment on Brian Flores, and on top of that, Jesse Davis got Tua hurt. He single-handedly didn't pick up the blitz, and Tua got whacked and got broken ribs and got fractured ribs because of it. So obviously, our O line was a liability, a major liability. Now they got a little better against last week against the Raiders. Now we need them to take the next step. Indy's D is sneaky good. They're not that great, but they are good. Their running attack is all right. If Carson Wentz does not play, that's a major plus for Miami. That means we could tee off on this rookie on their backup quarterback, and their backup is not that good. So if you're talking about the battle of the backup quarterbacks between Jacoby Brissett and whoever they got, I'm taking Jacoby. But Jacoby's got the experience. He's been good. He played fine against the Raiders, and the Raiders D is actually a really good defense, and we played great against them last week. I'm going to go with the Dolphins to win. I think this is the week that Miami finally gets off the schneid, gets back at 2-2, and then let the chips fall where they may. Next week is going to be murder because we're going to be running into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but we don't know what type of Tampa team we're going to get. So we'll see. We'll see. So nothing more to say. Mike Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I guess you could definitely say. I mean, Indianapolis has been one of the big time disappointments going into the season. I mean, when they acquired when they acquired Carson Wentz, I mean, they were thinking maybe they had the guy that can take them to the next level, but this team and obviously injuries have really hurt Carson Wentz in the process. So, yeah, I mean, it could be very tough for them to overcome this, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on it. But either way, I got the Miami Dolphins winning this one, so Florio, it is yours.
Former Colts quarterback Jacoby Brissett has not thrown a touchdown pass in 2 games, and the Dolphins are struggling to find a consistent running game. This might be the chance for Carson Wentz to finally get his first win with the Colts in another tight contest, but I don't see it. I think Miami will pull it out. I 100% agree with you guys. 26-23, I got Miami knocking off Indy. So there isn't much more to say on that. Let's move on to our next matchup here. Another, like I said, we got a lot of great matchups this week, and here's one of them. This is over on our side of the ledger of CBS, the mothership. As it's going to be the Cleveland Browns squaring off against the Minnesota Vikings from US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this game will be over on CBS. Kevin Harlan, Trent Green, Melanie Collins on the call. Cleveland opening up as a 2-point favorite. Minnesota leads the all-time series 11-4. Their last meeting was 2017 in London, and Minnesota won 33-16. Last meeting in Minnesota was 2013. Cleveland won that one, 31-27. Vikings last beat the Browns in Minnesota at home in 2005. That was a 24-12 final. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, this is hands down the sleeper game of the week. Cleveland, Minnesota, two great offenses. I got to be honest, this is a very tough one to call. This one literally could go either way, especially after Minnesota picked up a very impressive first win against Seattle last week.
Yeah, this is a game like you said, Florio. I mean, it could basically go either way. I mean, after what Minnesota did, and obviously with what Cleveland has done so far. But yeah, I mean, you got some good offenses, you got some good defenses as well. So I got a feeling we could have like a real low scoring game here. But we'll have to wait and see on it. But this to me is a tough one to call here, but I gotta go with the Cleveland Browns right now. I mean, I just think to me they're the better team, but I would actually not be shocked if Minnesota can pull this one out. So there's really nothing more for me to say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, out of all the games, this may be the toughest. But I've had a little time to think about it, and I do have a reason for who I'm going to go with in a moment. If we're going to take Cleveland seriously as another Super Bowl threat in the AFC, then this is the exact kind of road game it needs to win. Minnesota is a couple field goals away from being 3-0, but their run defense just hasn't been strong enough in the first 3 weeks. Dalvin Cook with an ankle missed week 3, and his status is certainly one to monitor throughout the week as we get closer to game time. And because of that, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns to win this game. My final score, 33-28, Cleveland over Minnesota in our number 5 game of the week on our side of the ledger. So, MF, easily a game we could have called, but the records didn't quite fall that way, but should be a good one, though.
Yeah, and I'm completely agreed on that as well. But I'm going to say that I'm also in agreement saying that I do believe that Cleveland will win this game as well. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little bit of a rough one. But I do believe that Cleveland should win this game. So let's just move right on along.
Very well. And in the next game on our docket for this week, all right, we move on to the Fox side of the ledger and the matchup that will feature the New York Giants squaring off against the New Orleans Saints. And I believe they're back at the Superdome. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, good.
They're back in the Superdome.
All right. I didn't hear anything. I wanted to be 100% sure on that. So, all right. That's been confirmed. I'm glad to hear that. So, this game will be back at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. You know, it was very doubtful, of course, after Hurricane Ida wreaked havoc, like Katrina did 16 years ago. But thankfully that the Superdome is okay and it'll be ready to go. Game will be on Fox, and it will feature Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Sarah Walsh on commentary. and New Orleans opening up as a 7-point favorite. The Giants lead the all-time series 16-14. Their last meeting was 2018. It was in New York. Saints won it 33-18. Their last meeting in New Orleans, one of the greatest offensive shootouts you will ever see, was back in 2015. New Orleans won 52-49. Oh, what a game that was. Giants have not won in New Orleans. Oh wow, I gotta see, when was the last time they won there? Oh my. Wow, you gotta go all the way back. We gotta go all the way back to 1993 for the last time the Giants beat the Saints in the Superdome. 24-14 was the final in that one. So I believe I start this one off. So the Saints rank 31st in the NFL in total offense, but are 2-1 and back home for another grinded out game with the Giants. New York is another 0-3 team looking for that first victory, but it's just not going to happen on the road, and especially in the Superdome. Very tough place to win. Nah. I'm going with the New Orleans Saints to win this one, 27-16. I got the Saints over the G-Men, dropped them to 0-4. And MF, especially with the Saints being back in the Superdome for the first time this year with fans and all that, and especially after Ida, they're going to be rocking and rolling.
Dude, this could have the makings of a bad night. Remember what happened when Hurricane Katrina hit? And then the poor Atlanta Falcons, man, they did not have any idea what was about to hit them. That
memorable punt block touchdown, as only you called it. Oh, what a moment.
Yeah, and I don't get those many moments nowadays to do league commentary. But yeah, that was one of those rare nights. So I think it's going to happen again. And I think it's going to be the same thing. The same energy, the same fire, the same passion that they brought in the first time around. I think they're going to bring it right back at it again. And unfortunately for Danny Dimes and for the New York Giants, it's the wrong place at the wrong time. This is not the time to be messing with the New Orleans Saints. And especially after they're coming off a huge victory over the New England Patriots, embarrassing the New England Patriots at Gillette 1 week ago. I think right now the New Orleans Saints is playing with the house money right now more than any other team. So, yeah, going home, playing at their own house, their true house, and playing against the New York Giants, this is a recipe for disaster. So I'm going with the New Orleans Saints to win it. Michael Bullock, sorry for bringing up a bad memory, but I had to do it. It's part of the show. We got to do it.
Well, it is what it is, Fletch. You got to do what you got to do. So, yeah, I mean, the Saints are finally back home where they belong in the Superdome and coming off of a victory over the Patriots last week, and they're coming in with a lot of confidence. And yeah, I can't help but feel for the Giants. I mean, they're at the wrong place at the wrong time, and yeah, they going to be dealing with a loud Superdome, fired up to have their team back home where they belong. So New Orleans wins. Florio, let's move on.
All right, we move on to our second to last early game on the docket. And it was the other co-zonk game of the week, the number 9 game of the week on our ledger. The game we got going on right now, I had at number 10, but oh boy, has it delivered. Cincinnati currently in position for a possible game-winning field goal with about 21 seconds to go. We'll keep an eye on that for a moment. They're in a timeout, but anyways, that number 9 game of the week, our next game that we're going to get into, 1 o'clock on CBS, the Tennessee Titans squaring off against the New York Jets, MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The legendary Greg Gumbel, Anna Marcelletta, A.J. Ross. Tennessee opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. Tennessee leads the all-time series 24-19 with a tie. Tennessee won the last meeting. That was in Nashville in 2018. Last meeting in New York, 2015. Jets won that one 30-8. The Titans haven't won in New York since they were the Houston Oilers. They last beat the Jets at the Jets in New York as when they were I think they were the Tennessee Oilers. No, they were the Houston Oilers. All right. It was 1996, 35-10. The then Houston Oilers beat the New York Jets at the old Giant Stadium. So not much more to say on that. I set up the schematics. So MF, Tennessee, the Jets. Theme of the week, Jets, winless team. But, oh, boy, they're going up against another team that's found their identity after a slow start. Tennessee, Derrick Henry, oh, boy.
And Tennessee will finally get that win in New York. I'm almost sure of it. This is my lock of the week. The Jets are horrible. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't think you're going to see. There's really not much for me to say. Tennessee wins in a laugher. Bullock is yours.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee, they finally got Derrick Henry going, and yeah, that's not going to be good for this Jets team that's winless here, and yeah, they're not good at all. So this is another one of the locks of the week. I got Tennessee winning this one as well, so Florio, it's yours.
And we have a winner, gentlemen. The Cincinnati Bengals have kicked a game-winning field goal. It was a 35-yard field goal. It is good. The Cincinnati Bengals have defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-21. The Bengals 3-1 on the year. The Jaguars dropped to 0-4. So big win for the Cincinnati Bengals, no doubt about that. A game that was much closer than expected, but at least the right team won. So that's really all there is to say on that. So anyways, MF, you said the Jets were bad? Oh, yeah. Zach Wilson has thrown 6 interceptions over the last 2 weeks, and the Jets have just 20 combined points in 3 games. Can Tennessee's D take advantage? The Titans have forced just 1 turnover through 3 games. Derrick Henry tops 100 yards rushing again, and Ryan Tannehill keeps the hot hand. The Titans create a few turnovers as a result. Tennessee Titans win the game. My final score, 30-20, Tennessee over the Jets. So not much more to say on that. I believe next up is our final early game here. Yes, it is. And it's on CBS, and it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles. Lincoln Financial Field, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And as I get my stats up here, on the call for KC and Philly on CBS, it'll be Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, and Evan Washburn. And Kansas City opening up as a touchdown favorite. They're a 7-point favorite. Kansas City is to beat Philly. The series is tied at 4-4. However, Kansas City has won the last 2 meetings. Their last meeting, 2017, in Arrowhead, Kansas City won 27-20. Their last meeting in Philly was 2013. Kansas City also won that, 26-16. Eagles last beat the Chiefs at home in 2009, 34-14. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, we start this one off with you. You could basically call this the Andy Reid Bowl, because Andy Reid returns to the team that made him a household name in head coaching.
Yeah, you could definitely call this the Andy Reid Bowl. Because of what the Eagles were when they were under Coach Reid at the time, and for Kansas City, right now they're in last place. I know it's early in the season, but I don't think anybody could have predicted that. But man, the defense for Kansas City lately has just been, let's just say, putrid. And the offense, especially last week against the Chargers, they had so many turnovers, especially in that first half. I'm sitting there going, what the heck is going on here? Is this the same Kansas City team that has gone to back-to-back Super Bowls? That certainly wasn't the team, but this team is angry, and they definitely want to come out big on this one, because if they lose this one, oh my goodness, there's I can't imagine what social media is going to be like on this Kansas City team if they lose this one. But Kansas City bounces back and they'll win this one. So nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah. One quick note, and that was Andy Reid after the loss to the Chargers last week. Andy Reid fell ill and had to leave the stadium via an ambulance. But thankfully, I do believe he is okay. And is this an early season must-win for the Kansas City Chiefs? I think the answer to that is yes. Kansas City is actually a few plays from being 0-3, and the Eagles' defense has played well for the most part. The Chiefs finally got the running game going in week 3. But like Bullock said, turnovers were the problem. Look for Patrick Mahomes to clean it up on the road. Andy Reid, who was released from the hospital Monday, improves to 3-0 against his former team. So I guess we could call this the Andy Reid Bowl 3. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs bouncing back and winning this one 34-21. Kansas City knocks off Philadelphia. MF, if I had told you that the Chiefs were going to be 1-2 after 3 games and in sole possession of the basement in the AFC West, what would you have told me?
No way. I would have been like, that's unbelievable. There's no possible way. Kansas City, that team and everything, and they're at that spot. No way. You're crazy. But it has. They've looked very pedestrian. I think now a lot of people are saying maybe it's a Super Bowl hangover. Remember, they've been in the past 2 Super Bowls. Maybe this is the year that they do struggle. Not a lot of people are buying the hype or anything else about what they've been doing. So maybe it is there's been an issue there. You don't know. At the end of the day, you kind of feel like Kansas City needs to turn it around, and I think they will. Look, you can knock them down, but you can't knock them out. At some point, they got to come back and they got to play a better game more than anything else. I think the way that the game has gone, it's been one of those type of situations. I will openly admit this. I was a little concerned with Andy Reid, but they did say that the reason why he was in the hospital was because he suffered from dehydration. He was dehydrated. So they gave him some IVs to get some of the fluid back into his system. He's good now, so he will be on the sideline on Sunday, thank God. But I do believe that, yeah, Kansas City will bounce back and they will win this game. So there's really nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
And I believe now we're in the late games now, gentlemen. So, now I believe every game from here on in, we're going to have a lot of fun with these remaining 6 games, gentlemen. Buckle in, get ready. 405. We have 2 405 games on Fox, 2 425 games on CBS. Well, we'll get to the 405 ones first. And both of these games are all about the NFC West. And this justifiably is the game of the week on the NFC side of the ledger, hands down. Battle of 3-0 teams. This game is basically for first place, sole possession of first place in the AFC West. Maybe a possible playoff preview. Who knows? The Arizona Cardinals squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California, the home of Super Bowl 56 rather, and on the call for that one, it'll be Chris Myers, Daryl Moose Johnston, and Jennifer Hale. The Rams opening up as 4-point favorites in this one, and the series history, it favors the Los Angeles Rams 44-38 with 2 ties. The Rams have absolutely owned Arizona over the last 4 years. The Rams are currently on an 8-game winning streak against Arizona. Arizona has not beaten the Rams overall and in LA since 2016, when they kicked the doors down in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum and made themselves literally at home, 44-6 beatdown. but it's been all Rams ever since. 8 in a row for the Rams. And in a game of this magnitude, it's only fitting that I start off, because if we were NFC guys, this would have been the game of the week for myself and MF. This would have been the Tony and Mikey special right here, and rightfully so. Sean McVay and Cliff Kingsbury bring two of the league's best offenses into what should be the game of the week. The Cardinals and Rams each are scoring more than 30 points a game. Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford have kept fantasy owners happy. It's going to be a shootout. McVay is 8-0 against Arizona. I say make it 9-0, but it, by golly, will not be easy. I got the Los Angeles Rams winning what I believe will be a 5-star Shakespearean drama classic, 34-31, LA over Arizona. MF, it don't get no bigger than this. The game of the week on the NFC side, Arizona and the Rams, first place, sole possession of first in the NFC West on the line at SoFi.
Yeah, and especially after last week with the Rams, they're playing with the house money after they knocked off Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm gonna say it, man. This could be a team that could make it to the Super Bowl this year, and I'm talking about the Rams. But Arizona's right there, so this is definitely gonna be a one versus one. Because of the fact that Kyler Murray's playing great, you got a good running game. The receiving core is good. Defensively, they're stacked. So this is like a heavyweight championship fight, man. This could go fit. This could be one of those classic 12-round bouts that I've gotten an honor and a privilege to call a couple of months ago. And actually, there was a nice fight last weekend. In the UK, shout out to my homegirl Michelle Phelps because she was covering that fight in England, and this was a big, and this got the feel of a heavyweight championship fight. Said to do it in SoFi, the home of the Super Bowl. Let's go. Let's get at it, guys. I think the Rams are going to win the game. I think they're going to continue the hot streak, especially carrying the momentum off the big win over Tampa last week. Rams win. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a shootout, and the Rams coming off of a huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm telling you right now, Matthew Stafford is really fitting into the system very well, and we saw an reemergence of Deshaun Jackson with the performance he had, and boy, this Rams offense is looking really good. And yeah, this, like I said, this is going to be an offensive shootout, but I think in the end, I got to give the edge to the LA Rams. 34-31 is my final. Florio, it's yours. Let's move on.
And we move on to the other NFC West showdown at 4:05 on Fox. The Seattle Seahawks squaring off against the San Francisco 49ers. I just want to make sure I have this correct. Yes, this game will be at Levi's Stadium in San Francisco. It's the Seattle Seahawks and the San Francisco 49ers. Levi's Stadium, Santa Clara, California, outside of San Francisco. The other 4:05 game over on Fox, and on the call for that one, it will be Adam Amin, Mark Schlereth, and Shannon Spake. And San Francisco opening up as a 2.5-point favorite. A lot of history and bad blood between these two teams, obviously. And Seattle leads the all-time series 27-17. Seattle won both meetings last year, including when the 49ers had to use State Farm Stadium in Arizona as their home because of COVID protocol. Seattle won there 26-23. Seattle won in San Fran the year before, 27-24 in OT. The Niners last beat the Seahawks at home in 2018. That was a 26-23 overtime win as well. So not much more to say. MF, Seattle, oh boy. They definitely looked past Minnesota to get to this game, but San Francisco, oh boy, what a tough loss to Green Bay last Sunday night.
That was devastating. If you're a Niners fan, you're like, how on earth did that happen? 57 seconds. And that's all it was. It was that fast. It went from surefire win to boom. You left too much time for Aaron Rodgers to do his magic, man. And that's all it was. And if you're Seattle, what were you doing? I mean, Minnesota, they're not that good right now. They're actually on the wrong side of the fence right now, and you made them look like Super Bowl contenders. What are you doing? You had Kirk Cousins playing like he was the best player in the league. You gave him he was like the fountain of youth. I could not believe this. This was not the same Seattle team that I was looking at last week or a couple of weeks ago. So I was shocked. I was floored. And now you got this big matchup, divisional opponent. You know the war is on. It's going to be another down to the wire. I got to go with the 49ers, though. I think their running game is going to show up in this one. I think they're going to have just enough plays to get by. I think I have the 49ers winning this game. They definitely want to get a little bit of some revenge, too, because I think the last time these two teams played in SoFi, at Levi, I think the division title was on the line, and that was when Seattle stole it from the Niners, winning the game by 1 yard. If you remember that game, that was an epic 5-star classic battle. I don't think it's going to be 5 stars, but I do believe it's going to be a good game between the Niners and the Seahawks. They always are. And I think this time San Fran will finally get the job done. They will knock off the Seahawks here. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, like you said with the 49ers, what a tough loss against the Packers. They had them on the ropes and they lose by thanks to a field goal. And yeah, Seattle, they literally laid an egg on when they faced the Minnesota Vikings here. So yeah, I gotta go with the 49ers to win this one as well. So there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
I disagree. The Seahawks and 49ers both lost in week 3, which increases the urgency to keep up with the undefeated Rams and Cardinals. Seattle swept both meetings last year, and Russell Wilson will deliver a performance that increases the pressure to play Trey Lance in San Francisco. I'm going with Seattle to win this one. Close game. I got to go with them. 28-27. I'm going with Seattle to beat San Francisco. So there isn't much more to say on that. I believe now we go into the 425 games, and the 425 games we have on our side of the ledger, both good ones. Oh, yeah. It's our number 3 game of the week right here. It's going to be the Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Denver Broncos in Power Field at Mile High in Denver. And on the call for that one, it will be Andrew Catalan, James Lofton, and Amanda Balionis. This is literally a pick'em game because I see a 0 spread, so I think it's a pick'em game here between Baltimore and Denver, and rightfully so, because this is one that could literally go either way. It really, really can. So we're just gonna leave it at that. I think it's a pick'em because I see 0. So all right, and for good reason, because this series is tied at 6-6. Last meeting was 2018 in Baltimore. Ravens won 27-14. Last meeting in Denver, 2015. Denver won 19-13. The Ravens last one in Denver, and MF and I remember this very vividly. One of the greatest playoff games MF and I ever had the honor of calling. That AFC divisional playoff, January of 2013. Baltimore won 38-35 in double overtime. 5-star Shakespearean drama classic, and oh boy, all the fun MF and I had on with that game was just unreal. And you got to go on YouTube and watch a diehard Raven fan by the name of Keith Letourneau. If you saw how nuts this guy went during that game, it's absolutely epic. He became a viral video sensation, and because of that, I believe there was a major credit card company. I think it was either Visa or MasterCard or something like that. Saw that video and awarded him and his wife tickets to Super Bowl 47 because they were on the road to Super Bowl 47. So, but anywho, all kidding aside, the Ravens haven't beaten Denver in a regular season game since 2001. So, so there isn't much more to say. I believe Michael Bullock starts this one off. So Bullock, Baltimore, Denver 3-0, but then again, Denver's had 3 easy opponents. But Baltimore should have lost that game last week against Detroit, but Bullock, at the end of the night, we saw history. Justin Tucker, 66-yard field goal for the win. Are you kidding me?
That was freaking amazing. I mean, Justin Tucker breaking a new record, 66 yards to win the game. I mean, yeah, with the way they were playing, I mean, to me, Baltimore, they had no business winning that game, but somehow they did. And yeah, Denver is 3-0, but I mean, look at some of the opponents they've had to face. But this will be the first true test for them. If they can beat this Baltimore team, I think they could say, hey, we're the real deal when it comes to this division. But for right now, I got to go with the Baltimore Ravens here. I just think they're the much better team here. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it is yours.
Very tough to call here. I mean, this one literally can go either way. I mean, oof, man. Just trying to find it in my notes here. Louisville fans will love this quarterback matchup. The Broncos are unbeaten, and Teddy Bridgewater is playing mistake-free football. He has the 3rd highest QBR in the NFL, and Denver can prove it belongs with the contenders with a victory against Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore. However, I believe the Ravens will find a way to win another close game. Because look who Denver's beaten so far. The Giants, Jacksonville, and the Jets. You really think they can hang with the Ravens? I think maybe they can hang with the Ravens, but I think Baltimore's going to find a way, though. There's just something about Baltimore and Denver. What?
This is upset. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Yeah. But like I said, this is very tough to call. I mean, I want to go with Denver. I do. But I just got this feeling about Baltimore, though. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with the Ravens to win this one. I believe my score was 29-26. Let me double check. Yes, 29-26. I got Baltimore winning in Denver. But if Denver wins, I would not be surprised. And MF, if Denver does go on to win this game and go to 4-0, then they will most certainly be for real. There is no doubt that. But then again, look what they beaten. Jacksonville and the 2 New York teams. They all suck. So that's all there is to say there. So Baltimore, I have Baltimore winning 29-26. MF, last time we saw Baltimore and Denver, one of the greatest playoff games, and we were going just as nuts as that Raven fan, Keith Letourneau, did.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And yes, I agree with that. But this is where you got to be careful here, because this is why Denver is where they are right now. Because yes, they've been cupcake teams. Yes, they've been bad teams. Yes, they're not that great. But the thing is, you're in Mile High. You're in Denver, Colorado. That Mile High air does wacky and crazy things. And to a normal individual, if you're not familiar with that high altitude, it could suffocate you real bad. So no, I am actually a little more worried that this actually could hurt Baltimore. Denver's familiar with it. They can play with this in the elements. They can play this type of game. Baltimore, I don't know. Can they handle that? Can they handle the mile high air? It's gonna be a little more difficult for them to play. And on top of that, normally Denver doesn't ever lose at home. Yeah, a couple of years ago they did, but the thing is that the defense is deceptively good. And Teddy Bridgewater, uh, you know, I gotta say it's gonna be one of those type of games. So I'm sorry, Anthony. I disagree. I'm going with the Denver Broncos because of the fact that I thought that when the Miami Dolphins went to Denver, I'm like, oh, they're nothing. They're not gonna do anything. They're a shell of a team. That we're gonna crush them. We ended up getting crushed. So no, I'm not falling for this trap that I know Denver is going to spring on Baltimore. I ain't no Johnny come lately. I'm not. I've been around the block a few times. When I see a trap and I smell a trap, it's a trap. This is a trap game for Baltimore, and they're falling right in it right now against the Broncos. Denver steals this on Baltimore. They win the game. Florio, it's yours.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But like I said, you heard what I said about the spread. Pick 'em games. So that that one literally can go either way. So there isn't much more to say here. 3 games left, and we move on now to the big 425 game. Oh, easily a game MF and I could have done, but the records didn't fall that way. Instead, it drops down to number 4. It will feature the Pittsburgh Steelers squaring off against the Green Bay Packers from Lambeau Field in Green Bay on CBS. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. They'll be in Lambeau. Green Bay opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. Green Bay leads the all-time series 18-16. Last meeting was 2017 in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won 31-28. Last meeting at Lambeau was 2013. Pittsburgh also won that 38-31. Packers haven't beaten the Steelers at home at Lambeau since 1995. That was a 24-19 final. And of course, you remember these two teams also met in a very exciting Super Bowl 45, I believe it was, at Jerry World. Green Bay winning that one 31-25. So very easily, MF and I could have had this, but the records didn't fall that way. But it is what it is. But anyways, Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger have gone head to head just 2 times. Once in Super Bowl 45, and the other in a memorable 2009 regular season shootout at Heinz Field. The Steelers have won the last 5 regular season meetings, a streak that dates back to 1995. This will be another entertaining shootout, but with the Steelers facing a 1-3 start. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to win this game, especially after that momentum boost they got after that big win in San Francisco last Sunday night, in which former longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley was in attendance on that game. I saw that on her Instagram. But anyways, Green Bay wins 33-30. Big Ben and my formerly American hero, Aaron Rodgers, they're going to light up the scoreboards. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be so fun to watch. But that's all there is. 33-30. I got Pittsburgh over. I got Green Bay over Pittsburgh. I beg your pardon. So 33-30, Green Bay wins. MF, if the records had fallen the way, if the records had been aligned properly enough, this easily could have been ours, but unfortunately it drops down to number 4. But it's going to be damn fun, though.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be damn fun. It's going to be an amazing battle. And, when Pittsburgh and Green Bay go at it, it's always fun. It's a great battle, to say the very least. But the thing is this, for me, I got to say it. I believe it will be Green Bay winning. I think they finally figured it out. I think they turned the corner. They had that one bad game against New Orleans, and everybody started jumping off the cliff on them. To me, it's over. I got the Green Bay Packers winning the game. Pittsburgh is a shell of themselves. They are not playing good at all. So nothing more to say. That's it. Green Bay wins, and Bullock is yours.
Yeah, I mean, after that one game where Green Bay got hammered, and yeah, everybody was hopping on Aaron Rodgers. They're saying, "Oh, he's done" and all that. No, he is back to being that American hero that we've all known him to be, and that's bad news for the NFC. And yeah, I mean, nothing is more. I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't need any more bulletin board material. Well, he's got it, and that's, like I said, that's bad news for the NFC. So, and Pittsburgh, I mean, not off to a good start here. So, I got Green Bay winning this one. So, there's nothing more to say except Florio.
Yes, sir.
It's time. It's time for the most highly anticipated regular season game in a long time, and it's all based on one guy. As I give it to you.
Indeed it is, my friend. Indeed it is. But a point I wanted to make about Pittsburgh real quick before I get into that. Pittsburgh, they had that one great half in Buffalo in week 1, looking like that team that went 11-0 to start last year. But it's safe to say since then they've played like that downward spiral team that, that really sputtered down the stretch. And yeah, they are a mess. So, but anyways, as Michael Bullock said, and he is right, the most anticipated regular season NFL game maybe ever. So anticipated that myself and MF have decided to invoke what we're calling a special cross-flex exemption. We normally don't do these kind of games, but in this case, with all the hype that's surrounding it, we wanted an exception, and we got the exception, and here we go. Your reigning, defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers squaring off against the New England Patriots, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, Sunday Night Football on NBC. You already know who's working it. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. Tampa Bay opening up as a touchdown favorite, 7-point spread for Tampa. New England does lead the all-time series 7-2. New England has won each of the last 4 meetings with Tampa, including the last 2 in Foxborough. Their last meeting in Foxborough was 2013. New England, easy win, 23-3. And their other big win was in 2005, also in Foxborough, another easy win, 28-0. Tampa has only won in Foxborough once, and that was in the year 2000. I believe that was opening week. I believe that was in week number 1 of that season. Tampa Bay won 21-16 at the old Foxborough Stadium in Foxborough. And I think all the schematics are out of the way now, so it's only fitting that we start this off with MF, because he and I, this is the mother of all Tony and Mikey specials right here. MF, I bring you on in. The most anticipated regular season game in history. We've been excited about this since we did our schedule release show back on May 13th of this year. We went into we got excited about it then, and it's so exciting. The 3 of us are getting together. Special plans on our end, along with our dear friends, the Keenans. It's going to be a fun night. I cannot wait, especially after everything we've been through this last year and change. But anywho, oh man, Tampa, New England, the GOAT comes home to Foxborough for the first time ever as a visitor. We never thought we'd see it.
It's the GOAT Bowl.
But we're getting it here. We're getting it here, right here on Sunday night.
Yep.
Do that thing I like. Nothing more to say except hello, friends.
It's like you said, it's the GOAT Bowl. I know for a lot of the people, this is the game that everybody's been waiting for. This is the one that they circle their calendars. The day that we found out that Tom Brady was going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after he said that he was leaving New England, going to Tampa, and then we were saying, well, we know on the schedule down the line that they're going to face each other. Would we get an opportunity? Yes, it was going to happen. And then vice versa, like you said, when the schedule release came out earlier, a few months ago, this was the one that we circled, and we were like, this is going to be the one that we know is going to be highly anticipated. The whole world will be watching this game. It's going to be a night to remember, and it will be. The high intensity, the excitement, everything that has led us to this moment is going to happen now. And now the question becomes is what is this gonna look like? What is the battle gonna be? Brady made some bulletin board news today saying we're going out there to kick their butts. Belichick, in no particular order or in his own way, he wants to win this game very badly. So you got two teams that the tempers are going to flare early. The excitement level is very high, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war. Who's going to come out of this with the W? That remains to be seen. I'll say this. If you're New England, you got to play a lot better than you did last week against New Orleans. That is a performance that hopefully that was just a bad night, a bad afternoon. Maybe they were overlooking New Orleans to get to Tampa. Maybe they didn't focus on New Orleans enough because they were thinking ahead of time. They were thinking going to Tampa and playing the Buccaneers. Where Tampa, maybe they weren't taking the Rams lightly, that they took the Rams lightly, that they were thinking about New England. So something will have to give. Offensively, I got to say, you kind of have to give the advantage to Tampa Bay. Of course, quarterback play, running back wise, receiver wise, tight ends, you could check mark it all off. Left and right, Tampa on that, including the offensive line. Definitely Tampa has a major advantage there. Defensively, this is where maybe New England gets a couple of advantages, because I haven't seen anything that Tampa has done that has scared me if you're a Patriot fan. So I think you're going to expect a very good, solid performance. But with Brady having the axe to grind, with Gronk with an axe to grind, with just the mere fact that the Buccaneers are probably going to want to set an example out of the Patriots in this game, there's no doubt in my mind I think that Tampa should win this game. But with that crowd, Belichick, he schemes so well in these type of moments. But you're going with a quarterback that's really inexperienced. And he showed his rookiness last week. He was great against Miami. He was very good against Miami. He was very good against the Jets. We saw for the first time the rookiness or the mistakes that was coming out of Mac Jones. He cannot do that against the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. They will eat him alive if they do that. Tampa's going to win this game. Michael Bullock, you've been dreading this game for almost a year. My friend, the moment has arrived. It is time. Brady and the Bucs are going to Gillette, to Foxborough, to meet his old coach, Bill Belichick, and the New England Patriots. The 6 banners that hangs in Gillette are because of Brady and Belichick. And now these two men are about to go to war on Sunday night.
Yeah. Ever since we found out when the schedule came out, and we saw that these two were scheduled to play in week 4. I mean, this is the one everybody had circled down. I mean, we were wondering, when is Tom Brady going to make his return to Foxborough? And it's going to happen this Sunday night. And it's going to be a highly emotional game. You know Tom Brady is going to get a standing ovation because of what he meant to that Patriot franchise for 20 years. Like you said, Fletch, those 6 Super Bowl banners that are literally hanging there. And let's not forget some of the other things he accomplished during his 20-year run with the Patriots. He won 3 regular season, well, not just the 6 Super Bowls, but 4 Super Bowl MVPs for him. 3 regular season MVPs. 17 division titles. 9 conference championships. 2009 comeback player of the year. I mean, so many Pro Bowl selections with the Patriots. So many things. It would take me an eternity to name all these things. But yeah, I mean, there's so many talks about how this whole thing came to an end with Brady leaving and signing with Tampa Bay, and now he's going to be going up against his old team, his former coach, and yeah, Mac Jones. I mean, there's got to be some nervousness in him knowing that he's going up against the guy that once held the spot. And yeah, the offensive edge definitely goes to Tampa, but yeah, defensively for Tampa, they're not that good right now, and they have some injuries, so maybe this is an opportunity for Mac Jones to take advantage of. But yeah, it's going to be something fun to watch here. And also, what will the reception be for Rob Gronkowski if he does play? But it's going to be a highly emotional night. You know that there's going to be some kind of a tribute video to Tom Brady. You know there's going to be that. And like I said, this game is so big. You got the Sunday NFL Countdown crew that's going to be in Foxborough. And heck, Football Night in America will be in Foxborough for this. So if that doesn't show that this is one of the most highly anticipated regular season games in a long time, then what will prove it? But either way, I got Tampa Bay winning as well. So there's really nothing more to say. Florio, like I said, this is going to be one of the most emotionally charged matches that we've had in a long time.
And you also forgot to mention that this game is so big. I mean, yes, you mentioned about Sunday NFL Countdown of ESPN being in Foxborough. You mentioned Football Night in America, NBC being at Gillette. So big that the 3 of us, along with our dear friends Mike and Brian Keenan, will be chowing down at our local Buffalo Wild Wings to take in this game. That's how big this game is. So, I mean, it's gonna be such an amazing night. I mean, our first significant get together that we've had in a very long time, and boy howdy, it's gonna be worth every damn bit of it. That's all I'm gonna say. But back to the business at hand, gentlemen. I came across a very interesting editorial, and they had a rundown of the top 10 things or people who needed the win most on Sunday night. Number 10, Boston sports fans. After years of being the evil empire, when Tom Brady was in Boston, or in New England rather, all 4 Boston sports teams, Patriots, Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics, combined to win 12 major championships. The 6 Patriots Super Bowls, 4 Boston Red Sox World Series, 1 Bruins Stanley Cup, and 1 Celtics NBA championship. And ever since the GOAT got to Tampa, look what Tampa's done. Tampa Bay, if you will. Bucks winning Super Bowl 55, and of course, the back-to-back Stanley Cup championships from the Tampa Bay Lightning. And of course, the Rays were in the World Series last year, and they're definitely one of the favorites to get back there from the American League end this year. Boston sports fans came in at number 9. Tom Brady's father came in at number 9. Coach Bruce Arians came in at 8. Patriots owner Robert Kraft was number 7. Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels was number 6. The Patriots defense at number 5. Rob Gronkowski at number 4. Mac Jones came in at number 3. Tom Brady himself came in at number 2. And who needs this win more than anybody? None other than Coach Bill Belichick. But anyways, the most highly anticipated family reunion in years will take place Sunday night in Foxborough. Tom Brady's return to the city where he helped build the greatest dynasty in the modern NFL is sure to offer pomp, circumstance, and perhaps a tinge of resentment when the reigning Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers face off against the New England Patriots. Not since Peyton Manning's return to Indianapolis with the Denver Broncos in 2013 has the NFL seen a surefire first-ballot Hall of Fame quarterback visit the city where he grew his legend so soon after donning in New Jersey. The circumstances surrounding Manning facing the Colts were much different. The iconic QB's Indy tenure essentially came to an end when a neck injury forced him to miss the entire 2011 season, inherently putting the Colts in position to draft universally acclaimed prospect Andrew Luck. 2012, Manning earned Comeback Player of the Year honors by leading the Denver Broncos to a 13-3 record in the division title, while Luck was a rookie Pro Bowler with an 11-5 record and sky's the limit potential. Consequently, that 2013 game was wholly a nostalgic celebration. There will be some conflicting feelings around this week's highly anticipated showdown in Gillette Stadium. Brady's split with the Pats came after years of Bill Belichick scouring for an eventual replacement for the aging signal caller. Thing is, Brady never aged. Oh, he got older, according to the Gregorian calendar, but as far as his football ability, TB12 remained at the pinnacle of quarterbacking. When we hear about couples parting ways after decades of marriage, the questions are often, what happened? Why now? At times, the answer is simple. Some people just grow apart. To keep evolving in this game called life, occasionally setting out on a new path is the best way to get somewhere. And so after 20 years together, Belichick and Brady split up in 2020. In ways that felt mutual, Belichick wanted to move on to the next phase of his organizational plan. Brady desired more input and freedoms not afforded in New England. Of course, that doesn't preclude cynicism from lingering behind reciprocal words of admiration. Basking in the Florida sunshine, the 44-year-old Brady is playing like he's 20 years younger, having a blast off the field, unleashing humorous social media posts, ribbing other players publicly, putzing around on national TV, playing mediocre golf, and hoisting his 7th Lombardi trophy. Like an ex peeking at a former Flame social media accounts, Patriots fans must be all up in their feelings watching a happy-go-lucky Brady playing like it's 2011. Happy he's thriving, sad it's in a different jersey. And so the stage is set for a Sunday night football game with much more meaning than your average Week 4 affair. The undercurrent of this matchup has built for months, with Brady's return circled on all the calendars, especially Michael Bullock's. The desire to win will be palpable. And with both teams coming off a Week 3 loss, the appetite for victory ramps up even more. Let's set one thing straight, gentlemen. Sunday's game will not determine whether either team succeeds or fails in its quest for 2021 glory. Months will remain to decide that. But still, in the hearts and minds of many, the meaning is deeper. The subjects listed below don't need a win in the life or death, win or go home sense. No, it's a much more cerebral need. They need it like you need to beat that car off the line when the light hits green, because you know that mother trucker will cut you off. They need it like you need to pedal hard through the cool down period of a spin class, because you must pass that last person on the Peloton leaderboard. They need it like you need to scoot in front of that mother with 2 toddlers and a shopping cart full of groceries, so you're not in line for an hour. Need is relative. So that's my story. As far as who I have winning, it's obvious who I have winning. Tampa. I mean, I'm sure New England will make a game of it, but it's just going to be too much Tampa, too much Brady. Yes, he'll get the standing ovation. There'll be the pomp and circumstance and everything else. I'm sure there's going to be a lengthy tribute video before the game and the whole 9 yards. And that's why Bullock and I want to get the table ready for MF and the Keenans to join us. But this should and will be the most watched Sunday night football game of all time. Tom Brady makes his return to Gillette Stadium, and it'll be similar to when Brett Favre made his first return to Lambeau Field with Minnesota in 2009. The great ones always deliver on that stage. Brady gets the Bucs back on track. 31-21. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeating the New England Patriots. So there isn't much more to say that hasn't been said already. One game left, Monday Night Football. It's our number 2 game of the week, and it's a big one. A game that could give sole possession of first place in the AFC West to the winner, provided Denver loses to Baltimore on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders squaring off against the Los Angeles Chargers. Once again, SoFi Stadium, Inglewood, California. Monday Night Football on ESPN. And, of course, you know who's working that. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, Louis Riddick, Lisa Salters. Of course, Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. And the Chargers are opening. It's the Chargers actually opening up as 3-point favorites. Raiders lead the all-time series 65-55 with 2 ties. They split both meetings last year, both winning on the road, which meant the Raiders have won in LA. Each have won the last 2 meetings in Los Angeles. 31-26 last year, 24-17 the year before. Chargers last beat the Raiders at home in 2018. That was a 26-10 final. So there isn't much more to say on this. So Michael Bullock, if you've recovered from all the Brady hoopla here, final game of the night, big game here, Raiders and Chargers on Monday night. And if Denver loses, Bullock, first place, sole possession of first in the AFC West could go to the winner of this game.
Yeah, this is definitely a big one here in the AFC West, and like you said, if Denver loses this one, I mean, someone could come out of it with the first place in the AFC West. But yeah, I mean, this is a tough one for me to call. I mean, I like what I've seen from both teams, especially with what the Chargers were able to do going into a tough environment in Kansas City and beating the Chiefs here. But the Raiders, they certainly look like a team that could definitely give not just the Chargers, but the Chiefs a run for their money. So it's a tough one, but because this game is at home, I got to give the slight edge to the LA Chargers here. So, but it would not surprise me if the Vegas Raiders do come out with a win here. So there's really nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Like Bullock said, this is a very tough one to call here. Could very easily go either way. This relocation rivalry is fun when both teams are good. The Raiders have won their last 2 trips to Los Angeles, and they have a chance to improve to 4-0. Who would have thought we'd say that? Derek Carr and Justin Herbert, both ranked in the top 5 in passing yards, put on an offensive show. And the Raiders have had some big-time success on Monday Night Football as of late. And they've already won a Monday night game this year against the Raiders. And they also beat the Saints in the inaugural game at Allegiant Stadium last year. So they've done very well on Monday night over the last couple of years. That coupled with, the tough luck Charger losses, but then again, they actually got it done. They went into Arrowhead and they stole one from the Chiefs. Huge. So there isn't much more for me to say. This is very, very tough to call. But for right now, I got to go with the hot hand. And especially with it being on Monday night, I got to go with the Raiders. It's going to be close, but I think the Raiders will eke it out. I'm going to say 29-27. Vegas steals one at SoFi, takes another step closer to first in the AFC West, especially if Denver loses to Baltimore, or they could be tied if Denver wins. But we'll see. But nonetheless, 29-27 Raiders win. MF, take it home in this huge AFC West division implication game.
Yeah, but I'm also going to go with the Chargers as well. I just feel like they, especially after beating Kansas City, I feel like they feel like they're getting the momentum here. So there's really nothing more to say. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. And Anthony, let's call it a night.
All righty. And we'll be back in our normal time slot time slot, Saturday night, next Saturday night, October the 9th, for week 5 of NFL Saturday. And we got some good ones. The LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday night. How about that? We're also going to have our first London game as the New York Jets will take on the Atlanta Falcons. Other notable games, the Green Bay Packers against the Cincinnati Bengals. We got the Denver Broncos against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Miami Dolphins against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A potential sleeper matchup with the New Orleans Saints and the Washington Football Team. Cleveland Browns against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chicago Bears against the Las Vegas Raiders. The San Francisco 49ers against the Arizona Cardinals. And, of course, what very easily could be the game of the week for myself and MF next week, a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead, Sunday Night Football. And just some of the games we can look forward to on this show when we go back to our normal time slot. So set the table for you tomorrow night. MF will have it, the Cerebral Smack Talk. We're back at our normal time of 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Huge Friday night SmackDown. Royal Farms Arena, Baltimore, Maryland, night 1 of the 2021 WWE Draft. And then on top of that, we'll get into AEW Rampage. And then Monday night, we got Ridiculously Raw. Monday Night Raw, night 2 of the WWE Draft from the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. My Tony's take on Impact Wrestling in 205 Live. Wednesday Night Mayhem. MF will have that. NXT 2.0, AEW Dynamite. And then we'll have College Football Thursday back in our normal time slot next Thursday night. Cerebral Smack Talk Friday. And, of course, NFL Saturday back in our normal time slot next Saturday night, the 9th. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Bracefay 95, Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, and in spirit, Michael Bullock, D.D. Woodson, and always in forever, the Yankee Messiah 401, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching this special Thursday edition of NFL Saturday Week 4 right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.